what we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I, I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only.
They're building a fortress for the white race in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. It's called Return to the Land, probably because their neighbor already took the name KKK.
Okay, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, an only white town in Arkansas. White people, y'all on some real tea here. Y'all are clocking it. Y'all are eating. Can somebody find me how many black people live in Arkansas? Because I feel like Arkansas was already white. Oh, well, they said make America great again. So it's already white. They want to make it more whiter. I need to be serious. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. My name is Natkuna Esther. If you're new here, hi, welcome to all. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. I don't know why these news are making me so excited. But anyway, I want to say shout out to y'all for supporting me, loving me, supporting my channel and everything. Arkansas. How many black people live in Missouri? We need to know. So white people are building their own town. We got millennials and Gen Zs going to Arkansas because they're like, we are living Los Angeles. Like, life lately is not the one. We are sick and tired of living with these people of color. Make America great again. White people, y'all are standing on business. And that's on period. Y'all, let me tell you. It's like white South Africans waking up and saying, you know what? We need Urania in Cape Town. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What do you think? What do you even make of this news? Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I don't know. Like, I don't want to think that white people are insecure. No, like, I mean, you already have DJT in power. That's already giving you a first class ticket to whiteness and everything and exclusivity. How white more do you want to be white? Let me show you people's reaction.
So they're trying to break ground on a whites-only community in Springfield, Missouri, as early as this year. Not literally in Springfield, Missouri, but adjacent. And they hope that they can build one of these cities in every state in the union. It's called the Return to the Land Initiative. And my brain keeps breaking every time I say Return to the Land out loud, because there's nothing about white people that screams return to the land. White people can barely go camping without crying. I'm trying to understand the whole return to the land sentiment there, because it sounds eerily similar to return the land or land back for indigenous people. And after that Jubilee episode recently with that one white guy saying that white people are Native Americans, and he truly believed it and people clapped for him, I'd like to see them build this white city. But I would like them to not use any inventions made by any person of color or any immigrant. Like literally everything. Even down to the types of pets that they're allowed to have, actually. Because we don't want any immigrant pets. They have to be from America only. It's just bothersome to me, as a person who is white, to see other white people be so fucking stupid. And the fact that they think that they can actually put one in every state. It's mind-boggling to me. At this point, I'm just starting to feel like any person who is not cis, straight, heterosexual, white, or male, you can't be all of those categories. I think we should just leave. Everyone just fucking pick up, give up, and leave. And let them see how horrible it actually would be. This can't be my reality.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I, I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading-type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it, and I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes. So it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
That we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not about that
Yeah,
by any means.
It's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter-argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like, if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow, and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child. Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to as part of helping grow this thing.
An intentional community based around shared ancestry. A long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
We're so beyond cooked, dog. We are fried at the point where white people are creating their own little KKK town.
Has everyone seen that community that's being built in America where they are only accepting white Americans into their community that they're building? And recently Sky News went over and actually interviewed these people and asked them what they were basing it off of, basically. And they said that it was just a community of people with similar ancestry to each other. I have another word for this, it's called a Sundown town. And also, let's not forget to mention that the double standards are insane, because if this was the other way around and any other race was having a community and wasn't letting white people in, the outrage and the public uproar that would occur is, you can only imagine. This group said in their interview that the community was about freedom and just a community. However, it is nothing other than organised hate. The fact that this is also legal and does not fall under any regulation of discrimination and simply racism is absurd to me, but also not even slightly shocking considering the current state of the USA. And people say that the far right aren't racist or xenophobic or sexist or whatever, but then full on build a community based off race and segregate people based off race. It is genuinely very, very scary times.
Y'all, did you know it's not just rhetoric? They actually think that we're Yahtzees. Just because we're in favor of rounding people up because of their ethnicities and races and concentrating them in an outdoor camp. Well, wait. I had some cognitive dissonance there. Can you believe it? I've been laughing about this since hearing it because the people doing it are acting like they're doing something entirely revolutionary. But, like, Arkansas has had whites-only towns since we were founded. I mean, like, seriously, Yellville is a place. Mountain Home is a place. Harrison is a place. And all little towns that are around that are places where you're already gonna just be living with white people. Or if there are people of color who live there, I mean, like, there's sundown towns. You only have certain parts of the town that you're allowed to live in, and you don't go out of them in the evenings. So, I mean, like, they're not revolutionary. They're about 200 years too late to be revolutionary. They're just racist.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, you know, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
But in this southern US state, people who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful. And you don't know who to trust.
They're building a fortress for the white race in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. It's called Return to the Land, probably because their neighbor already took the name KKK. Their rules: no gays, no Jews, no non-whites. See, they needed to be able to control who their neighbors were, and apparently the town where they've settled, Ravenden, was just too diverse at 94% white, so they needed to build their own white town. As if the Ozarks themselves aren't white enough for these people. Most of y'all probably haven't been there. I've been there a lot. It's a very white place. Their idea of diversity is a Chinese restaurant that serves shitty dim sum and a Taekwondo studio that's in the back of someone's house. Apparently, they have to have their own white town because if you don't have rules against it, anyone of any race could be your neighbor. These people aren't even from the Ozarks. They've migrated there, which is actually my favorite part of this. They have no clue what actual subsistence farming looks like. They're cosplaying trad lifestyle, traipsing around in flowy dresses, watching their husbands work with state-of-the-art equipment while they pretend to be pioneers. In reality, all they're doing is running away from people who have different ideas than them.